and welcome back to day 4 of the 13 days of Halloween. Today I am going to be making some little books for the witches' shelves, and you can basically use just about anything you want for a project involving miniature books. I've got a couple here that I have printed out, and you can find those all over the internet, free printable book covers. And one of them I have just glued onto some, I believe that's foam core. These books will be on the shelves, they will not be opened. And this one I don't know, I think it's just a piece of mat board on there. So yeah, those are a couple of ideas. I'm going to be making my own, and it's a very simple process. What I have here, first of all, is I have some onion skin paper that I have coffee dyed to make it look old. So what I'm doing is I've just got a stack of little bitty pages that I've cut. And it's a whole stack there of those. And the first thing I'm going to be doing for those, because I need them to get good and dry, is I'm going to be putting a line of tacky glue right along the edge that's going to be my spine. Now these pages are not even, and I can either cut them evenly when I'm done, or I can just leave them, since this is a book for a witch. So I'm just taking my finger and kind of making sure that I get the glue all over that. Then I'm going to very carefully clip this little bitty binder clip onto there, just to hold it together while that glue dries. And it's looking like I probably don't have quite enough glue. It takes a bit, because you want to make sure that all of the ends of your pages are in the glue. So there's that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and clip the little binder clip right onto the edge, and I'm clipping it onto the edge that has the glue. You can see the glue through the clip, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm just going to put it aside so that it can dry good. Next of all, I've got some pieces of just plain cardboard. And as I said, most of these books will not be opened, they will not be seen, they will just be sitting on her little bookshelf. So I'm going to glue 2 pieces of this together for one little book. I'm not going to worry about those edges right now where the corrugation on the cardboard shows through. That we'll take care of at a later date. Right now, I am just trying to get everything ready to go so we can assemble our books. And this is going to be a much thicker book, again, just using the cardboard, but 3 pieces this time. So just glue those all together and make a nice fat book. Okay, make sure we have our spine edge even. We can always trim the others if need be, if you cut badly like I do. I also have just a plain little thin piece of wood here that I will be covering, and a thicker piece of the lattice wood that I will also be covering. So those are going to be our little miniature books. I really want to make one that's opened, so it looks like she's looking at her spell book, cooking up something. But I need to go find some tutorials on that, because I'm not 100% sure how you get it so it looks like a nicely opened book. So I won't be doing that with you today. But yeah, so anyway, as far as covers go, I was going through some stuff, and I think this witch is going to be anything but boring, because I found some papers that are quite colorful. So I'm not sure I'm going to be using them all, but I'm going to be using some of them. And I think the red definitely is going to be one of the little books. So I am just going to lay my book down and see just how big I need to make it. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. It needs to be wider than the book and just a little bit longer than the book so that there's just a little bit of whatever you're using for your cover to show through. I'm not exactly how sure that big this is. Bleh. Yeah, so I can't talk again today. So I'm just going to take my paper cutter and I'm going to hold my book up. And you can measure if you want. I just kind of like to just kind of do this, like this. So I'm going to see, I'm thinking right about there will work for this book. And this is going to be our big, fat, chunky cardboard book. So let's see where we're at. I think that's going to work. I do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue down on what will be either the front or back cover of this book. Just want to get a good coat there. This paper is some Zoe got me for Christmas one year to use. And I really haven't used it much, so just want to get it right kind of to the edge. I don't want too much sticking out, but I don't want too little either. So just going to press that down into there good. Must add a little glue. Story of my life. Okay, and so then I'm just going to put some more glue on here. What will be the spine of our little book. And then I'm just going to carefully bend it over. Still trying to leave my little bits around the edge of my book. Get the spine up there. And then I'm just going to do the same with this side. Making sure I get it nice and tight. I can see I've got a little too much. If you can see that, I've got a little too much overlapping on the sides, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to cut that down just fine. And I'm going to push down on the spine of my book, kind of rock it a little. I want the spine well defined, like so. And then I'm just going to eyeball this and cut it off about where I think it needs to be, like so. Now, all I have to do is attempt to cut this one side. It's a little taller than the other side, so here goes nothing. That worked pretty well. And the only reason this happened is because I got the piece of paper I was going to use for the cover on just a bit crooked. So we're just going to cut that off a little bit. There we go. And there's that. Now, if it's going to bother you, and I mean, it's not going to bother me too much, but if it were to bother you that you do have these cardboard pieces showing, maybe you want to make a book stack or something like that, then what I would do, what I'm going to do, and I've seen other people do this, so this is not my original idea, I'm just going to take some of this paper and cut it down to a strip, and I'm going to lay it over the edge of that, and I'm going to hope that it looks like book pages when we're all done. So I'll just be cutting that, and then I'll just be kind of guessing at what we're going to need. I love coffee staining paper because you get some really unique patterns and designs, and I love the onion skin because it's so thin that it really mimics some old book pages. So to get that in there, I'm going to guess that I got the right size, hopefully. And I mean, if a little of the other doesn't, or shows, I'm not worried about it myself. However, it's just another thought in case you'd like a more finished edge to your book. I'm just going to lay that in there, bend it down, and go to this end where I'm going to cut it off. Poke that down in there. I'm just going to kind of go over it a little bit so it takes the shape of the cardboard. By running my thumb on here, I'm just kind of pushing it down a little bit against the corrugated end. I think I saw Queen City Minis do this, I'm pretty sure. She's amazing. I love her videos. And as you can see now, it kind of looks like the pages of a book. And I'm not 100% sure, but I do think it was Queen City Minis I watched do that. So there's one book, which now has a great big red book. And I'm worried that some of these might be a little big for the shelves. That's a thought. So now we're going to take one, and I think with this one, this is the other little cardboard one that I've made. I think we're just going to do maybe a plain black book. Here's one. This was printed off the internet. And like I said, there are many, many, many little books like this that can be used. So these come with a printed spine, and this is a very tiny one. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to attempt to fold that spine over so that it's nice and crisp there. And try it with the other side. It's so tiny and so... I don't have real big hands, but I tell you what, it is really, really tiny. So I'm thinking it should just fit this, oops, this little piece of wood that I have here. Nothing was measured, nothing was, because I didn't know what I was going to use for covers on my books. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and put some glue on where the spine is going to go. And I'm just going to slip that into the little book cover. And this is just going to fit right to the edges of my book. And that's okay too, because, you know, some books you won't be taking out of the bookcase. Some books will be stacked. So it really doesn't matter if the edges overlap just a bit on these. Okay, so now I am going to carefully peel back that little part of the cover. Part of it's stuck. And I'm just going to stick some glue on there. Like so. And fold that over nice and tight. And I'll do the same to the other side. So there we go. 3 little books, very quick and easy. And most of these book covers are printed in the right scale. You just make sure that you are using 1/12, or if you're using 1/2 inch scale, that, you know, that's the size you're printing out. And then you can just cut them out and do whatever you'd like with them. Very easy, very quick. And yeah, so Not too hard to get your miniature books. And I want to show you this one again where the pages are now that the glue is drying. It really looks like glue pages. Very happy with that. Where's our little bookshelf? There we go. Really cute. So I will be back when I make the little book that I'm gluing the spine on right now. It's going to take a while. But yeah, right there's our little shelf with some books on it. Really cute. And I don't know if those will be staying or if I will be using some different ones. I tell you what, making these little books is so addictive. Once I started with this, I did not want to finish. I have decided that I might make this her main spell book and not make it so it opens. I don't know it's textured. I'm going to attempt to write spells on here with this Micron pen. These pens are getting old, so I don't know how well this is going to go. And especially since the book surface has texture to it. We'll see what happens. I may ruin it, and in that case, it'll just go on the bookshelf. And I am not good at writing tiny. So it wasn't the worst ever. Oops. Not the best. And I'm hoping I can find something to put on here for some decoration. I think I might just make the corners black to go with the writing on the book. Not real easy to do when you're you do have the texture. Something like that, I guess, for that. I don't want to get my fingers in this. I don't know if you can see, I've got little black corners on there. So if you can do anything with the spine, maybe we'll just make some lines across it. We'll also do those in the black. You can decorate these little books any way you like. Probably would look cuter with gold, maybe if I'd done a raised design on it. Not sure if I want to try to put something up on the top of it, but yeah, just to give you an idea, you can just do something like that with your spine. I really think gold would have been better. I'm going to see if I can find a little tiny sticker or something to put on there. I think that would be really cute. But that's the nice part of making your own little books. You can do whatever you like with them. So it's my last little book here that is a piece of wood and maybe purple. I kind of like the purple book. Maybe we'll have to do that. Okay then, I think our last little book is going to be purple. And we're just gonna put some glue where on one side and where the spine would be, just like we've done all the others. Nothing new, nothing exciting. We're just doing some little books. So I want a spot where this has a larger and smaller print. It's a floral print. And so I am going to put it up here where the print is smaller. Just going to push that in, and then I'm going to just do the same that I've done with the others. I'm going to cut this a little so it's just a bit bigger than my little book surface. And it's always okay to leave yourself a little extra room because you may need it. Push that down. If you hear any noise out there, it's my neighbor. He's remodeling the house next door. I think him and his wife are gonna move in. And if the house, I believe, is the one they live in now in Madison, they have got a gorgeous Victorian. She likes it, he doesn't, I guess. My brother was talking to him, and he's not a fan of their beautiful Victorian, and I tell you what, it's a really cool looking house. I would be a fan. I would definitely take it. But can't really, don't suppose I can afford the taxes and stuff in Madison, and especially on a really gorgeous Victorian. So yeah, I don't think I'll be having one of those. Anyway, our little purple book. Really cute. Oops. And I may decorate these. So here's our little handful of books and scrolls that we'll be putting into the Little Witch's house. I want to thank you all for joining me on today's adventure. I really hope you try some mini books if you haven't already. They are highly addictive. Once you start, you don't really want to stop. So there you go. And yeah, so I will be looking forward to you joining me on day number 5. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. I'm back. I forgot one little bitty thing that I did, and somehow I lost it off the rest of the video because I went back and watched. Here you go. It's a little black glass bead and a very tiny bird feather, courtesy of my cat Ash, who thought he had to go catch and kill a bird and leave the mangled remains underneath of my car that we were working on, and when I jacked it up, well, guess what? Yeah, mangled bird remains. Thank you, Ash. Anyway, so I just decided she needed a little quill and ink to go with her little scrolls and books. There you go. Bye for now.